Like if I won the lottery, there'd be like 3 things I would buy. One would be a donkey, one would be a Caterham 7 or a Lotus 7 or whatever they are, and a John Deere to cut the lawn with.
What's that, a tractor?
Yeah, it's all I want in life. I don't really want much if I won the lottery.
Not a bike? You already got one?
I've already got one. I'd continue working for Scott because I love it that much. That's me asking for a pay rise, Dave.
In today's episode, a bike check of Tony's Scott Addict RC Pro. He's not a mad fanboy, he works for Scott.
And I'm also a massive fanboy. That's a Scott Addict RC Pro.
Nice.
It's like I've practiced that, isn't it? By far and away the nicest bike I've ever owned. Well, owned, being given. I use the Addict over the foil because I just prefer how it rides. It's completely concealed cables, like all integrated, and I just find that the lighter frame works for me, and I just like the way it looks. Really, it has a bit more of a traditional looking feel to it. I do have the option to ride either the Addict RC or the foil, but I do always tend to choose the Addict. Just, it works for me. I can probably do some sick jumps on it for you too if you wanted. The bars, they're the Syncross Creston IC SLs. I run a 12cm by 38 centre to centre.
So that's a long stem but narrow.
Yeah,
narrow bar.
I tend to run long stem, narrow, like the narrowest I can get from Syncross, which is the 38s. I've just followed the trend really of everyone else sort of running these narrower and narrower bars. It does feel better on the road bike. Just feels a bit weird when you jump back from the road bike to the cross bike to the mountain bike. It sort of feels really narrow.
Really different, yeah.
Quite twitchy. Once you get used to riding them, they're really good. I find them much better to ride. Syncross Belcara saddle, which is the aggressive race saddle with the wide profile for being more or less perched on the front of the saddle. So the Syncross seat post, although it's exactly the same shape as the one on your foil, it's a slightly lighter seat post due to the clamping mechanism, because this is apparently the lightest seat clamp on the market. I think it's like 6 grams.
Big claim.
Yeah, it is a big claim, but apparently that is true. Weirdly, another little thing, Syncross, all of their parts are all named after places in Canada.
So what's the seat post called?
Duncan. Bound to be a Duncan that lives in Canada, but there's also a place in Canada called Duncan. Through axles, but Scott's got this lovely little tool, so it slots into there, magnetic, doesn't go anywhere, and it has a T25 and a 6mm.
Is it a 6mm?
I'm pretty sure it's a 6mm.
I bet it's not a 6mm.
But then you've got the T25, which pretty much adjusts all your contact points on your bike for Scott, like your headset, your seat posts, your stem bolts if you're not on the one-piece system, and that just sits nicely in there.
I like this because if you forget your multi-tool,
yeah,
you can still do a few things onto your bike, yeah, without being completely stranded.
It's handy having it on, because if you take it off, you just know you're going to get stuck at the side of the road without it.
More aero though.
It does look nice and clean without it. The bike comes spec'd with Dura-Ace, which is very nice. Full Di2. I'm running, it's the 11 speed because I'm waiting for the 12 speed. 52, 36 front chain rings, and then I'm on a 2811 rear cassette because I just find the smaller spread suits me more than the wider ratios. I don't really spin, I tend to churn a lot more. I think that's just like a cyclocross thing, riding around muddy fields, one other thing. I'm on a 140 rear rotor rather than a standard 160. 140 rear, 160 front. It's just because I think the 140 looks nice and neat and tidy.
And it's way strong enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for the back. Ideal world, I'd probably like it on the front, but we can't. You can't fit it on the front. So I'm on Shimano Ultegra SPD SL pedals. I just find the body of the actual body of them slightly wider, so I feel like the contact point is just much nicer over something like the Lux or other brand of pedals. So the wheels, same as all the other rest of the finishing kit, comes from Syncross. So they're capital 1.0s, so they're a full carbon rim, and then on them I run Vittoria tyres.
Are you tubeless?
No.
Ooh.
At the moment, but generally speaking, yes, I am a tubeless convert. It works for me. There is a noticeable ride difference in tubeless. You can actually feel it, I think, but people are probably going to say they can't.
But you race tubs in cross, right?
I race tubs in cross,
which we'll go into more in a future video.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting. Yeah. Okay.
But if I could race tubeless in cross, I would.
Or you can actually go and ride it in the real world as well, instead of just having to carry a tub with you.
Tubeless on the road, it does work.
This is the second bike check I've done. Someone's got a mismatched crank.
Yeah.
Why have you got a mismatched crank?
Because it's cheaper. It's a porpoise
crank.
Stages,
power meter.
It is stages with an Ultegra stages, not the Dura-Ace. It fits, and I think there's about is there any weight difference? I think it might be a couple of grams, so there's not really any weight difference whatsoever. That's why I run it, and it's about £200-300 cheaper than a Dura-Ace one.
And knowing
but it
you,
doesn't look as nice.
You're going to break it.
Yeah.
Cheaper to replace.
Yeah. So basically all the way through the Addict RC range there's 3 levels of carbon. HMF, which is your sort of entry level carbon. Then you've got HMX, and then you've got HMX SL. They'll probably all ride very similarly. The most riders won't be able to tell a real difference. But what you will find is the HMF to the HMX, there's about 90 grams difference in the frame weight. The HMX to the HMX SL is the same again. It's sort of like round about the 30 to 40 grams lighter. The HMX SL is what like your Pro Tour teams, like your DSMs, all their bikes will be HMX SL. The Addict RC Pro is HMX. Your foil will be HMF. The forks are HMX, because all the forks all the way through the range is the same.
Because I know 1,000 people will ask in the comments, what size is it?
It's a 49 centimetre. It's extra small.
Is that an extra small?
That is extra small. Basically I could ride either small or extra small, but I always choose to ride the smaller bike. Just find I can make that fit better than the small.
How tall are you, for reference?
Same height as Tom Cruise, 5'5".
And to add to that, if anyone was interested, I ride a small, so one size bigger, and I am just over 5'8".
Same height as Tom Cruise then.
Same height as Tom Cruise.
Can't believe yours is the better carbon. It's not fair. I mean, but it does explain why on occasion I have struggled on these rides and you've just been real fast.
Yeah.
It's that, it must be that. It must be.
I've just been taking you around the hilly routes, which this bike's designed for.
So that is Tony's bike check. Took us a long time to find locations today because it's been very, very windy. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. Subscribe to his channel, link down below. And stay tuned for the next one, where we'll be checking out his cross bikes.
Yes, your cross bikes.
2.